Hello, you're welcome back again to this channel, and today I'll be teaching you the fractional index, or you can also call it the fractional power. This is still the laws of indices, and this is the eighth law, and I think this will be the final law that I'll be treating with you on indices. So fractional index or fractional power. Now when you have the power as a fraction, what's a fraction? A fraction, it's a number that has a numerator and a denominator. So you have it this way: you have x over y. You have the x as the numerator and you have the y as the denominator. So that's a fractional power or fractional index. Now to explain this better, don't actually confuse yourself. When the last law actually taught you was the power, I'm sorry, the root power. Okay, so the root power is also a fraction, but this fraction is the numerator must have 1 over any number. That's why I refer to it as the root power: 1 over 4, 1 over 5, and that. So for this fractional index, it's any fraction other than when the numerator is 1, that any numerator apart from 1. Yeah, let us classify it as fractional index. For instance, if you have 4 raised to power 3 over 2, for instance, this is a fractional index because the 3 is not 1. It is a number that is not 1. So you have 3 over 2 as a fraction, 3 as the numerator and 2 as the denominator. And there's actually a simple way to solve questions on fractional power, fractional index. Now, let's take this for instance. You have 4 raised to power 3 over 2. Now, don't forget that it's a fraction. The 3 is the numerator and the 2 is the denominator. Now, how do you solve such questions? So, if you have such questions like 4 raised to power 3 over 2, now, if we are to convert this to the root sign, the number that will be here will be the denominator. The root will be the denominator, while the numerator will be the the power of everything. Now you have 4. This numerator, I'm sorry, the denominator comes here, which is the square. You have it as the square root. Then you have everything raised to power 3. Now if you have to solve this, what's the square root of 4? Is 2. And 2 raised to the power of 3. That gives you 8. Let's take a okay, so this question is 81 raised to power 3 over 4. Now how do you express this using the root form? So you have, don't forget I said the denominator becomes the root and the numerator becomes the power. So you have root, this is the 4th root. Don't forget that the 4th denominator becomes the root. Then the 3, which is the numerator, becomes the power. So we have 81. So in other words, to express it, you have the 4th root of 81 and everything raised to the power of 3. So this means what number will you multiply together 4 times that will give you 81? And that number is 3. So you have 3. So 3 raised to power 3. Don't forget you still have this 3 here. So it means 3 times 3 times 3. This will give you 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 3 give you 27. And I will recommend this method because when you use this method, you arrive at your answers easily than this other method that I want to show you now. You can also solve this question like this. You have from here you have the root, 4th root, then you have 81 raised to the power of 3. So the way you go about this is, first of all, multiplying this 81 into 3 places. So you have the 4th root of 81 times 81 times 81. So you can see that this we actually make, instead of you simplifying it, it makes you begin to expand. It becomes complicated. Now 81 times 81 times 81, when you actually use your calculator, you are going to have 531,441. So this now means, what number will you multiply together that will give you what number will you multiply together 4 times that will give you this number inside this root sign? So you can see it's actually it becomes harder for you to solve. For instance, let's say you don't have a calculator with you, it's difficult for you to get this. You understand? So I recommend you using this method. You first of all um, look for the root of the number, and you actually find the power of it. So you have this now. So you have the answer. If you use your calculator, the answer you have is 27. You can see you have the same answer here. So you have 27. If you multiply 27 into 4 places, you will get this number here. So you can see you have the same answer. Mind you, there are questions that can have negative powers, negative fractions. For instance, if you have questions like 81 raised to power minus 3 over 4. Now, such questions, how do you resolve it? So I want you to stay with me. I'm going to discuss this properly in my next video. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you click the subscribers button so that whenever I post videos, you can be notified. Thank you for staying with me.